Well, this is the bike. I'll just show you around the front of the bike to start with. A couple of years ago I fitted these LED spotlights to the front. They're very good for seeing into the distance, but more than anything it's so that people can see me when I'm driving around. It's water cooled, twin carburettor. Up here on the handlebar I've added quite a few little accessories. This one here is for putting the GoPro if I'm not wearing it on my chest, and this is for plugging in the GPS or charging the phone. The speedometer overreads by about 12 kilometers an hour, so if I'm doing about 100, I'm certainly not doing that much. This is where I keep the GPS here. This paper clip is for paper money at tolls, but it's still a bit of a faff having to take your gloves off and find the money, but anyway, it's a bit quicker that way. I use this sheepskin because it's really comfortable, and also some foam underneath it, just there, especially on a long journey. Not so long ago I fitted this stand here for the sort of axle stand for raising the bike up when I want to do some maintenance. Also added these saddlebag supports so that the bags don't rub with the wheel or anything like that, and it's certainly a lot safer. I rather like the twin exhaust. Some friends of mine who have got the same model of bike, they take the, I don't know what you call them really, but the silencers out from the exhaust to make them even noisier. But I think the bike's probably noisy enough as it is. Aluminium fuel filter, because I've had a couple of plastic ones literally melt, just completely disintegrate, and I replaced the rubber hosing with some braided rubber hosing to make it more secure. And it might look very long, but that's the only way I can get it to fit, because the distance between the between this on-off and the carb itself is hardly anything, and if you bend the tube too much it kinks. So anyway, it doesn't get in the way and it works. Originally Jawa is a Czech, well, it still is a Czechoslovakian make, so although all the components of this bike are made in China, it's assembled in Buenos Aires under license, and Chinese bikes come under a lot of criticism for unreliability and quality, but I've got to be honest with you, I've done about 30,000 kilometers in this bike over the last 5 years, and touch wood, I've been okay. But I do take a lot of care in the maintenance of the bike, changing the oil every 3,000 kilometers religiously and constantly checking it, so maybe that helps. I'm about to change the rear sprocket, in Spanish also known as the corona, because I bought one, a sprocket with 34 teeth, and it just didn't run properly at all. I just wasn't happy with it, so I had to put the 32 tooth sprocket back on, but of course it's worn. It's already done about 20,000 kilometers, and I'm running out of space for the chain, adjustment space. So over the next couple of days I'll be replacing it with a brand new 32 teeth sprocket. Oh, and in the rear light I'm using an LED, but it's not bright enough, so I'm going to have to change that. And that's the bike. I'm very pleased with it, I've got to be honest. I thought it might be a good idea to start her up and see what she sounds like. I think those things inside the exhaust are called baffles, aren't they? Well, anyway, I'm leaving them in because she makes a good enough sound as it is. Yeah, that's quite a nice sound. Not exactly a Harley Davidson, but sorry, I've got a bit of a cold at the moment, so that's why I'm sniffing so much. She's clean, doesn't give out any smoke or anything like that. I might have to get the valves checked, or maybe that's something I should learn how to do myself, adjusting the valves. I've picked up most of the jobs along the way, or watched other people do it. Quite handy, but it makes a nice noise, not too noisy, but you know, enough. I'm also going to have to change the rear tyre because she's looking a little bit ragged, getting a bit bald there in the middle. But the prices of everything in Argentina have just shot through the roof over the last few months, with devaluation of the peso of about 70% in the last year or slightly more, and about 50%, 55% inflation, which is no joke, I can tell you. But anyway, you know, you crack on, don't you? The next video will be a ride from the suburbs into the center of Buenos Aires and back.